clap your hands. I'm still trying to figure out what to call this.
We can give it a name later.
I guess just go ahead and
just call it.
It's episode 1 of the podcast.
Episode 1 of the podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
It's just like Hitchmaniac Flycast, because it took them like
It took
3
like 9
episodes.
episodes.
The Humdrum was one of the names.
I loved the Humdrum.
I loved
That
the
was a
Humdrum
perfect
too.
name, but
they went to the Flycast. That's a pretty.
yeah, that worked.
Can
I be
dropped? Are we already? Are we going? Like
We're
is
talking.
Is this?
I mean,
You're all fine.
Is this? Whoa!
I'm just kidding.
So
fuck this hat.
we're done. All right, Nick, you can do this podcast by yourself.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this is me, myself, and I.
That's a good
Welcome back
podcast
to
name,
Nick
though.
Talk.
It's a
I've
good
just been
podcast,
rambling.
though. Imagine a podcast like, hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Me, Myself, and I, the podcast.
I'm sure
of
somebody's
just
already
me,
done it.
myself, and I.
That's not a bad name.
No, it's not really. Well, let's actually get on topic here. So fire it away, Nick.
Welcome
ladies
back to
and
the
gentlemen.
Schizophrenic Podcast.
Oh my god.
We don't have a name yet, so give us a couple episodes. We'll have something.
My name is Charluc.
Shalouk.
My name is Jeff.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm Libob.
You're Baby Giraffe.
I am Baby Giraffe.
Yeah,
My phone
Operation.
name's Baby
Let's
Giraffe.
talk about that a little bit.
Well, first, just to make sure we have gotten it across. This is the RevoltCast, whatever we're going to call it.
Ooh, I like
Whatever's
that
gonna-
though. The RevoltCast. That'd be kind of dope.
I was thinking that name earlier, but I wasn't like too sure on it.
Yes,
But anyway.
whatever it is, it's a podcast. It's the 4 of us that are. I don't know what you would call us within the group.
I would say cornerstones because all 4 corners make a box. We're the box of the organization, I guess.
Sure.
Nick lived in a box. It makes sense.
This is true.
Things are coming together. 2 + 2 has equaled 4.
All right.
We've
Anyway,
come full circle for square. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the first episode.
You guys think we've told them it's the first episode enough, or should we?
yeah.
so
Go ahead.
this is gonna-
Let's go introduce ourselves so people kind of know who's talking at least.
This is Truth. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is clearly not Nick, otherwise known as Nick. I am clearly, as you I'm the CEO and owner of Revolt.
And founder.
And founder.
Well, technically, we're all co-founders.
That's a
Technically, you would
fancy
think.
name.
Technically, yeah, thank you.
My name's Brian. I go by Mind Over Brian on all forms of social media. I guess I don't know. Like, I guess I'm like head of esports or co-head of esports / founder. We haven't really.
We didn't really talk this through very much.
Yeah, we're just kind of winging this, but I mean, I'm all right with it. So
I'm Joker.
Yeah.
I don't do much yet. Nick just wanted me to be a part of it. He asked me 4 times.
I did.
I said yes every time, but for some reason, I guess he
and
thought...
then he gave you a sheet of paper asking you to do it one more
I
time.
believe the reason was that he has trust issues, like most of his relationships. So it was like, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Are you sure? You've asked me 3 times, Nick. I'm still gonna say yes."
It's just like every time he tells me, he's like, "Hey man, I need to it's like I need to go do something." And like back when we used to live together, I'd throw him my keys and he'd catch them and be like, "You sure?" And be like, "No, I just threw you my keys. Throw them back."
I'm going to play catch.
Yeah, like
But I want to know who this guy is.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm Alex Splash Countercap. You've seen me probably.
Lot of
If you're
places.
watching this, yeah, you've seen me like 19 different names. It's fine.
true.
Espionage, whatever. It's all
I
been
mean,
around.
really,
Around the block.
you've had very many variations of your name. I mean, mainly we go
Yeah,
Splash
status.
goes ham, Splash goes ham. Like I'm talking about of Splash, Splash goes ham.
Goes
Which is like fan. So, but like
Danish
like,
me.
So like I mean, Splash goes ham. I mean, what have you gone?
I mean,
to?
we had Grounded way back in like 2010.
Grounded was the
that's
thing,
right.
man. I wish we still had that.
I
to
mean,
be
I
honest.
had Gunmetal Savage, I had MT in Exile, I had Splash Goes Ham, Splash GR, Splash Damage,
Splash Damage was one of my
Splash
favorites.
IKI, Splash V1.
God,
We had a lot of different
V1,
stuff.
Fun
V1. What was that? Was that version 1? Is
Yeah,
that what we called it?
Whenever I was playing Xbox the other day, I went and looked through my friends list. I was like, oh god, let's see who was on there. I found both your all's
Old ones.
V1s on there.
Yeah,
Status
status V1. I Carnage was one of mine for a minute there.
Rex.
Rex was my like go-to, man. That was the
Collusions.
Collusions.
That was
Yeah,
a
your
fire name.
your name was supposed to be like Irex, right? Was that
Irex,
Okay,
yeah.
I really just read it as
But
Irks.
Irks, yeah. Everybody was like Irks.
Everybody did, bro.
I read it and I was like, this is. I thought it was fucking dope in my opinion. Yeah, we're cursing in this podcast, okay? Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it was fucking dope for me. I thought it was really awesome. You thought it was cool.
Yeah, when you changed it, I was like, all right,
And
we're
then
doing this.
and then like people were like, who's this Irks dude? I was like, fuck.
Thought I had one.
So that's how that went. But let's
Boozled
get
again.
on track a little bit. Let's talk about the operation, as you guys called it.
Operation Rescue Baby Giraffe.
Yeah.
that's
So
Lit.
little background here. We all lived together. We've all lived, at least in some way, shape, or form, together for
2016 to 2017. Pretty much, we all lived together.
Yeah, 2018, me and Nick went and lived on our own, and they Splash and Joker continue to live together here.
Be careful hitting the table because the mic's going to
Splash moved into my room, so. But yeah, the summer came. I got a new job about an hour away, so I've moved out and gone to live on my own. I'm just here because the baby giraffe's here, which is Nick. We all grew up. Well, me, Splash, and Nick grew up in the Louisville area, and Joker, obviously the odd man out. California, don't really get it. But
not quite the same thing. 3 hours versus a couple
close.
days.
But anyway, Nick went back to his hometown, which was just outside of Louisville now. And to be honest, we told him that he wouldn't like it. And little did we know, or actually, much did we know, we were right. He hated it. And so...
He moves back home every summer.
Not every summer.
Every summer,
It's-
every break, every third Monday in June.
Before about 3 years, he had my laptop.
You constantly move back. You go say, oh, I'm going to save money. I'm going to go move back in with my mom, or I'm going to go see my grandmother. I'm just like, dude, no, you won't enjoy it. You're going to hate it. And sure enough, what happens? Exactly that. And you end up hating it.
You're not wrong.
But yeah, so they went and got him yesterday.
Earlier, it was last Sunday, I believe. I'm laying in bed. I'm getting ready to go to sleep, I think. And I get a snap from Nick. It says, if I send you money, can you come get me? And I'm like right now? No. But he's like, no, like next Sunday, like next Saturday. So I was like, we could maybe have that work out. We got some more details as the week goes on. I had a little bit of a heart attack about it because I've never driven that far myself personally. I've never driven across state by myself. When I do, someone else is driving and I'm just chilling in the passenger seat. So I get it all figured out and I was like, all right, cool. Nick, I'm going to come pick you up Saturday. I'm going to leave really early in the morning so I can get back in the middle of the day because I don't want to get back at 10 o'clock at night. Alex decides to go with me. It's cool. So we get up. I got up at 6 and got ready. We left about 7:30, got food, put gas in my car, aired up my tire. We hit the road. 3.5 hours there, 3.5 hours back. It was the worst trip of my life, to be honest.
It's not fun.
Everything is sore right now just from sitting the way I was in the car. Yeah.
That drive's not fun.
Especially
you have to drive 98 miles on one road.
I have not been charged for the toll roads yet, so we'll see what happens.
Oh god, that toll. So recently, in about the last, I think it's been 2 years.
They put a toll bridge.
Yeah, they put a toll bridge in going from Kentucky into Indiana. Indiana's where Nick lives.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. I actually drove across it in in my aunt's Kia Soul when we were helping my grandparents move. I was dropping her husband off back in Indiana because that's where they live, and he was driving the U-Haul back, and it was like a truck that's more than 8 wheels is $15.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
It's that they've recently upped the prices.
It's
disgusting.
I'm interested though because that made me think because we drove the U-Haul across. It's how do they figure out who had the U-Haul? Do they take the tag and then send it to U-Haul and find out who rented it? Is that how that works? I don't know. That's what that was a question I had.
The new bridge is cool.
The new bridge is dope, but the tolls are stupid. And that's what I hated about driving through Chicago when we went for Tyler's wedding.
And you said it was $5, right?
It was supposed to be around $4 or $5, and that's because they recently upped it.
Before it was 2 something.
Yeah, it was really
$2.30.
cheap.
Yeah, but they
okay.
they went through. I can't remember what the company is, and I probably shouldn't say it anyways. Just be careful.
Who cares? It's a toll. We're not sponsored by toll roads.
Sponsored by the sponsored video.
Remember.
Sadly,
Also, but
tolls.
it's just speaking ill of something on a.
Yeah, you don't want
Yeah.
Yeah, don't.
no one likes.
But
Best
yeah,
practice.
so A to B.
Toll House sponsor us.
Baby Giraffe has been brought back to
We got him back.
where he
and
belongs.
It's been a little over 24 hours since we've been back. I've been drunk for most of it, so including now. So it's been good for me.
We are now demonetized.
That's fine.
When in doubt, drink it out. That's just.
But yeah, I mean, so we're excited. Obviously, when you're listening to this, I was about to say watching, but I mean, we do have some video. So when you're listening or watching this, the group Revolt will have launched finally.
Finally, it only took about.
He started working on the business plan in I don't know.
Last November.
We gotta say last
let's say
November, December.
November-ish.
Yep.
Call of Duty came out. Is it weird to you to know that 1 month after Black Ops 4 came out, you started working on the business plan, and Champs just happened today?
Yeah,
as
we
we're
just
recording
ended
this,
Champs today.
and we haven't launched yet.
But I mean, that's a good thing.
That's
It's
a good
well
thing.
thought out.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're going places. Like,
It's been a step-by-step process, and there's one big thing. Like, usually what happens is, like, I'll get up an idea, and then I'll be like, let's do it, we're going to go do it, we're automatically just going to go ham on it, and then usually after about a month, it's just sort of like, it just trickles away. So with this, I wanted to take, like, step-by-step, be like, this is what I need to do in this area, but also need to work on these few areas. And I've just worked on it, like, piece by piece.
and there were some times where you took a step back and had to focus on other things, school being one of those things. But
last semester was probably... I always say, like, last semester was the worst semester.
you really
last
do.
semester was...
You've really said, like, almost every semester that the last semester was the worst one, the most recent one that happened.
And I swear to you, it's because, like...
They
I
just
was
keep
always-
getting worse.
It's
man.
just... last semester was, like... Well, the semesters that usually are terrible is just because I'm so, like, in-depth on music and just, like, freaking out, having freaking meltdowns all the time. But now I don't have to worry about it since my music part.
He still hasn't changed his major, by the way.
his... Whoops.
A year later, still same major.
I have gotten that paper
Different
3
program.
times. Gotten that paper 3 times. I keep forgetting to change it. So
I remember when I changed my major.
And I'm going back to it now, so that's
Like,
fun.
I remember when I changed my major. Like, I had, like, it was right after, like, I made the decision, went into my lesson,
You had like
crapped all over my lesson.
You had
Changing
like
back to
3 weeks.
Ed?
Oh no, just going back to like,
School.
like jazz orchestra.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense.
No,
Yeah,
not
but
go
yeah,
back to
I
education.
remember when I changed my major. It was so hard for me because
I was gonna say it took like 3 weeks of you like having like you had a
I
3-week long
literally-
anxiety
yeah,
attack.
like it all started when my car got hit by a dumpster.
Yeah.
God,
Like,
that was so
It
random.
was that literally took everything. Like, okay, so random dumpster just starts rolling on
We had
campus.
a
and hits
a
my car.
storm with extremely
Yeah.
powerful winds that blew a dumpster that was next to our dorm room into the
my
back
car.
of his car.
Didn't really do anything. I still haven't gotten it fixed. My bumper shifted like 2 inches, so it's not really that big of a deal. But like that was like the tip of the iceberg. Weirdly enough, because like music was already stressing me out and doing all this other stuff, and then I get an email. It's like, "Hey, your car got hit by a dumpster," and I went in full. I had a panic attack. Right as soon as I read that, I called my mom and I freaked out.
Didn't you also have like wasn't there an issue with your grandma going on at the same time?
My grandpa.
Your grandfather,
Yeah. So a bunch of stuff happened. Luckily, all better heads prevail. I had a breakdown in my lesson. It was tough. Like, I hated, like, I felt like I was letting down my instructors and my department and my friends, more or less. That's what made it harder on me. But now I got out.
I was on the other side of the state, and I get a message from Brian. He's like, dude, do you think I should change my major? And I was like, the fact that you want to change your major makes me think you should change it. And just full send and fuck whatever else is going on.
And,
Just like,
looking back on it, like, I really think that had I just done what I'm doing now, which is journalism, when I got into college, I would have been a happier person. Granted, I wouldn't have met...
You wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Probably wouldn't. Well, maybe. I probably still would have done
you
Racer
probably would have
Band.
done Racer Band, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe.
Imagine the change of events.
We wouldn't have been as good of... We probably wouldn't have been as good of friends right off the rip,
I'm
but...
pretty great.
You'd probably still be in Phi Alpha, though, and you all would still connect through
Potentially,
Phi Alpha,
because
so.
if I'd have done Racer Band, I still would have met Daniel, and I still would have done all that other stuff. But yeah, so a lot of stuff's happened. We're officially launched now. That probably feels nice.
You have no idea. It's been like a struggle because I keep saying like
You said it like 16 times.
have.
We'll get messages from you
There's-
at like 4 in the morning.
Literally, yeah.
It's like, fuck it, we're launching tomorrow. We're like, no, we're not.
it's just
Go back to sleep.
I don't know.
See, this is how I deal with it. Every time I get a message from Nick that's like, so I think we should launch tomorrow, I immediately just start asking him specifics, and he's like, good point. And I'm like,
Can I get an example of these specifics? Like,
so
most
we're
recent-
launching tomorrow. Okay, what are we uploading? The podcast. Okay, how are we doing the podcast? Who's going to be in it? So I'm thinking we record Discord. Okay, who's going to be in it? Because, you know, so-and-so has a curfew. So-and-so has, you know, rehearsal. So-and-so has work. And I'm like, shit. And I'm like, exactly. So let's
We're not launching tomorrow.
step back, figure out a schedule, and then we still didn't do that, and we impromptu recorded this and set it up
Well,
in an
this,
hour.
this has been planned for about a week now because last week
Yeah.
I brought it up saying like,
Well,
oh,
we planned on doing it early so we could get
Other people
person.
in-
Well, we
involved,
also
yeah.
had champs and everything going on.
Yeah,
as
so we
well.
watched Champs. Time got away from us. It is what it
Yeah.
is. Like, not
Which
a
next-
big deal, but this was semi-planned.
and they were watching
Yeah.
Champs too, so I mean, like, it's not really like
Yeah.
we knew we were going to do it today, We just didn't know.
And we've gotten one done. That's the thing. Like, get the first one out of the way, and then we can.
Yeah, we'll feel it. We'll figure it out as we go. And you want to do this weekly, right? Or is it?
I would like to do this probably every. I would like to have it upload every single Friday. That's going to be the general plan.
So you're about to say every day. I was like,
I'm not sitting here
Man,
recording. I'm not recording the podcast.
I don't know how to tell you this, Nick.
I don't know any org really that uploads every single day.
The 100T got really close.
100T was.
They do it. They probably do 4 or 5 uploads
Optic
a week
Monday
now.
through Friday. Remember that?
Yeah. 7-day schedule. Yeah.
Optic existing. Sadness.
Yeah, that's
a topic.
Bitter pill to swallow.
Well, now that we're talking about other orgs, let's just go ahead and delve in why we're recording this at 9 o'clock at night anyway, 8 o'clock at night, because your thing's
An hour behind.
well, it is 9 o'clock because it's 8:56. So
Yeah.
Oh, is it really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
champs,
COD champs this last week, I guess you'd say, started on
Probably.
Wednesday.
arguably, like honestly, it started Wednesday. Like
Everything just got crazy from Wednesday. It's
Yeah.
probably the weirdest champs ever.
Gingy going out on Wednesday, just playing. I mean, apparently they had a really bad day at a boot. The last day of the boot camp was like really bad. They went like 2-25 mat count.
holy.
Yeah, like bad. And I guess like that just
Translate.
set everything off. Feel good for Spacely. He kind of gets a little bit of retribution out of that, but
I mean, he kind of did the same thing last year a little bit. Like, he proved that he was good enough to be there, got dropped, and then had to rebuild it from scratch, and makes a run at champs, ends up beating LG. Like, the guy's done it twice at least now. He's a wizard.
and now you look at it. I mean, Optic had its best run at an event since Vegas, arguably.
Vegas,
I mean, they finished top 3, third, which they've done twice, 2 other occasions this year. But I don't think that they necessarily looked as good as they did this weekend at champs.
Yeah, their losses were ugly, but the wins were just dominant.
Yeah, I mean, like, you lose one map because you literally, like, Optic's run was win a map, either win or throw that map, and then win the last one. They would either throw the search or the control. And it wasn't even like, we're going to lose this. Like, they didn't lose that game. Well, they lost it, but they did not win it. They should have won.
Yeah, they put themselves in
They
spots.
should have 3-0'd. They should have 3-0'd E6. They should have 3-0'd Reciprocity. They threw.
Yeah, they just give away a game, and then eventually that starts to catch up with you. Like we saw, they threw that payload search up 5-3.
Yeah.
And it just tilted them into losing the series and the next one.
Yeah, it's just... But, I mean, a pretty good bow on top of a season that was kind of weird.
Gets thrown off by Dashi having passport issues, and then never really gets back on track, really.
I mean, overall, you get the top 3 that everybody thought was going to be in the top 3 to begin with this year. I mean, United, 100 Thieves, and Optic were considered the 3 best teams coming into the year. And roster changes happen. Optic stays the same, obviously, and we get to champs, and that's how it happens. Like, the top 3.
Think about that, a different look from 100 Thieves and the United than what they started the year with, but
Yeah.
it works out for them.
I mean, I can't even remember who was on a United. Oh, it was Cap.
Kaplan was on United, and Pharaoh was on...
Yeah,
100 team.
and we look back at that, like the whole Pharaoh situation. Like, why didn't they drop Kenny? Because one, Kenny's better, just as a player. I mean, he might have some ego issues because of like how good he is.
World War II proved that. Give him a SOG or give him whatever the mobile gun is, really, and he'll do everything. And then the Maddox was another option where you could still move around the map, but have what's the word?
Mobility.
Utility. Yeah, you could win fights from anywhere. The PPSH, you could do that last year.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, you weren't going to beat an FG from a head glitch most of the time, but Kenny was still doing it.
Kenny would have been a K-Bar player in Infinite Warfare.
Yeah,
and
it's
he'd
the same
have been
thing.
just as good. But I think the only thing that really turned me off of 100T this year was I just felt like they always had this ego about them that was just like, we're a level above everybody else.
And for a while, they were.
I mean, yeah, London and Anaheim, they were a level above everybody. But I feel like, I mean, I just don't like the way they walk around and like I like individuals. Like I like Priesta. Priesta's one of my favorite players. I don't think he necessarily gets the ego. I think he's probably the most down to earth person on that team, in my opinion. But I mean, like I felt like Octane got a little ego, and I mean Slasher's always been. I mean, Slasher's
just had that with him his whole career.
Yeah.
Like he's just walked with that kind of confidence.
But he backs it up.
Yeah.
And then Kenny's kind of gotten one.
Kenny's gotten so gassed from the community, it would be hard to not have an ego.
Yeah, and then Enable. I don't think Enable has an ego necessarily. I think
Enable's S&D keeps him pretty grounded.
He's had a good S&D year though.
But after
in
World
comparison
War II,
to World War
he had to have
II,
one.
yeah, he made some big plays. But yeah, Champ's a lot of fun.
I can see why we're the esports guys here.
I wish we were.
Went silent.
I wish we were there.
I would have loved to be there.
We went to Champs last year.
I didn't watch enough of the season to actually have much of an opinion, other than the fact that I know what teams I like and I know what teams I don't.
So I mean, like this same group of 4 a year ago.
We were at Champs.
We were in Columbus for Champs, and boy, let me tell you what kind of weekend that was.
That was outstanding.
Even without Optic, which we're all fans of.
Even with Aches winning,
we don't talk about it.
It is what it is. I mean, the guy finds a way. He's a magician.
He really does.
Yeah, he found a way to stay on the roster this year.
Which is enough. Like,
carried a .6 throughout the entire game.
But so did J-Cap, and he was not much better.
But, I mean, J-Cap made plays, though. Aches never made anything. He couldn't catch a cold.
The only thing he's made is a lot of people mad this year, really.
Yeah.
Stock, usual Ace. If he doesn't piss somebody off during a year.
I'm going to be interested, though, because I think next year, Modern Warfare is really going to suit him.
As a coach?
As a player. Yeah. Well, I mean, franchising is going to have 7 to 10 people. Somebody's going to pick him up.
I mean, I could see him as a coach. I could really see
I
him.
don't. You really think that guy?
You never know.
I could see him as a GM and a coach.
I could see him as a GM. I don't think I could see him as a coach.
Guys, you don't understand. I was the greatest COD player ever. I promise these strats work.
He just told me to 5-stack the edge of the
Ake's
cliff.
new team hasn't won a single map since we've started, since the release of the game.
But yet he's still the coach. That's pretty much how it went on Envy. He finessed his way to stay on that team.
Oh, I remember who was on the pod. Oh, wait. Whenever Sensor was on the podcast talking about whenever
when he threw the event to get Doug dropped?
That was interesting. Whenever he was talking about
Did you hear his rebuttal?
No, it was his rebuttal.
He said, why would I have to throw to get Doug off my team? How many championships do I have pull? Yeah. Or he said something along those lines. I don't want to put words in his mouth. It's something around that. It's like, why would I have to throw a tournament?
But the point is there. It's like, yeah, he doesn't need to just throw himself, throw whatever, a top 12 to get somebody off the team.
Yeah, like
he's Aches.
He's got 2 world championships.
It'd be like if Damon says, hey man, I really don't think Tej is working out. You hate to drop Tej, but you're talking about the GOAT. Formal's gone for a reason.
This is the first time he made it to a championship Sunday at Call of Duty Championships and didn't win the event.
Really, really sad. Really sad to see that.
I hate to see the run end, but that says
enough.
Enough.
that puts a pretty good bow on the year of after what they had gone through at what was the event after Anaheim? Was it just finals?
I think it was
Miami?
just finals.
Yeah,
Miami.
Yeah, after finals, it has to make them feel better about the year itself.
Yeah,
because you still get a win. You've got 3 third-place finishes, and then you got
it's not a bad year.
12th and a 10th. I mean, your average placements are probably in the 5th, 6th area. That's not bad. Would you rather have a win, a top 12, 3/3, a top 10, or 3 seconds and a top 32, like Gen G? Would you rather make the grand final and have a chance to win a championship on 2 separate occasions, maybe even 3 separate occasions, being they had a really good event at first event of the year, didn't they, at Vegas? Or was it Fort Worth they had a good event?
I think it was Vegas, the very first one that they had.
Either way, they had 3 really good events, but then they have that Champs performance. People are going to remember that they finished top 32 at Champs more so than them being in back-to-back grand finals.
Like Optic from last year.
Yeah.
No one cares about stage 1.
Nobody cares that they still threw that stage 1 and
but still put themselves in a grand final.
Yeah, and should have won the grand final. And Formal even said it. Formal was like, we shouldn't have won IW Champs. We shouldn't have won stage 2 in IW. That just goes to show how good those 4 players as a collective unit were. It's just they did not have to practice, and they won the biggest tournament of all.
Well, everybody else was grinding
on bad terms. They still didn't like each other in stage 2 of Champs.
Yeah, but the vibes were still once you win that's not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
You may still secretly at the end of the day after everything's said and done be like, man, I'm starting to kind of get sick of this shit. But while you're playing, you're like, we're frying. What the heck? This is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
I would love to see the Dynasty team come together if they could ever get it figured out. I would love to see one more time of them just actually putting their heads down and grinding like Formal did this last month and a half.
I think the time's just passed.
I think the time's passed. I think Krim. I don't know because Krim had an okay year. I mean, he had a pretty good champs. He didn't show up in the last 2 matches, but overall, like if you don't judge him for his 2 bad performances, he had a really good event this weekend.
All in all, he had a pretty good weekend.
But for the most part this year, like in the middle of the year, he didn't have such a great year.
But they were also still shuffling roles around. They could never get settled. But all in all, it shakes out with the United winning. And that, in its own way, is poetic because Clay gets added to the list of people who got 2 rings.
Yeah.
And that's a short list in COD. And when you think of names that should have been on it...
What a story that is, too.
Like, I mean, who else? Well, you've got Clay, Cap... Apathy. Damon has 3.
Krim
has 2.
2.
Attach has 1.
Seth has 1.
Replays has 1. Seth has 1. Formal has 1.
Formal has 1 in IW.
Parasite has 1. Gosh, what?
Oh yeah, Parasite
Miracles has 1.
Frico did just.
That was such a good team. TP has 1.
Yeah, TP has.
Aches has 1 or Aches has 2 now. Yeah. Assault, Silly.
Yeah, when you add the list of champions together, Clay being on it, yeah, that makes sense. But when you look at multiple people, that's the only other name on the list that you could really point at and be like, how the hell did he not get to 2? I mean, Seth, yeah, you could say, how did he not get to a 2nd ring? How did Formal shake out with only 1 ring? But that story's well known. Like that's well documented.
Yeah.
Exactly how all that happened. So with people who weren't on Optic that should have gotten a 2nd one, Clay was the only name really to me that stands out.
And what a story that is too, because you win one in AW, and then 1,400 days go by before you win an event, and then you win the last 2. You go back to back, and one of them's a ring. That's phenomenal.
It is a pretty nutty story.
You have the best 18-year-old, arguably ever break into the scene ever. Simp.
These last like couple of days of him playing, he is.
We talk about those cards, lineman's cards. I'm
he's gonna be a 99.
I'm pretty sure he'll be the first 99 card, which would be nuts. Mount Rushmore of Call of Duty.
Best control player ever.
What are you guys thinking? Mount Rushmore.
For players in general, like
Mount Rushmore of Call of Duty. You can't not put Damon on there.
Oh, he had to put Damon.
Yeah, it's
Damon's on there.
Are we talking about like status and everything that they've done for like the scene in itself, or are we going to talk about
skill? You're going probably.
You're gonna have like a mix of the Cole Ghost Dynasty and the Optic Dynasty.
Yeah, for sure.
It'll be Karma, Krim, Scump, and probably like Aches or TP. Probably Aches.
I'd say Aches, yeah. But if you're going for what they've done for the game,
Karma, I mean,
it's Scump, it's Nade.
It has to be Nade. Nade has
Hector's probably on there.
The best sniper.
How did Hector get up there?
He's the best sniper in Call of Duty.
Fancy. Yeah, it'd be Temper, Hex, Nade Shot, and.
I mean, you could even put Foreplay, Stainville,
Hastro.
Hastro wouldn't be a bad one.
Yeah.
I mean,
Moho
wouldn't even be a bad one, even though he didn't win very much.
No.
No, let's leave him off. Big T wouldn't be a bad one.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be looked at from this year that could be improved on, but all in all,
no.
He has his
good
own
content.
Is his own
Grizz
has to like for content.
If we're talking like
Teddy Rex.
If we're talking Call of Duty,
Teddy Rex, the best OSD player all time.
If we're talking like overall like content and competitive, yeah, I think Grizz has to be on that. But if we're talking competitive only,
Predator.
I don't.
He's good. Ham was dope.
He's good, but I don't think he's Mount Rushmore good.
No,
I loved Predator.
In sniping,
Not quite.
I would definitely say Predator just because he like influenced. Oh my god, he still influences people in this community.
Yeah, we know. We saw what happened when you played him in
we played 3 GBs, and I'm pretty sure it took halfway through the second one for him to get the shell shock out.
Bro, I nerded out as soon as I saw it.
Yeah,
they were.
You didn't even see it. I was the one that told you. I was like, guys, And you guys were like, what? I was like, we're playing Predators team. And then for the next, you either heard radio silence from Nick's end or, oh my God, we're playing him. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
At first, like, I thought you were messing with me because I was like, no, we're not. You're just fucking with me. Come on now. Like, what's going on? And you're like, no, look at the GB list. And I was like, ah!
Nick's gonna flip his shit even harder when he learns I was in one of the Predator montage lobbies. He played like 6 games in the same lobby, and I was on his team for 3 of them.
See, I'll be like, oh my God.
There's a clip where he gets like the 1v4 or whatever on Skid Row from it was that same
See,
set
that
of
was,
games.
Nick would stay in the spawn just so he could do his work.
I ended up in a BO4 lobby with PZ Fear, and I was like, no, get me out!
Hey, I can happily say I was in a BO4 lobby with a world champion. Clay was in my lobby on stream.
I domed him in the game ended, and I was just like, I'm scared.
Clay dropped 8,000 damage and we lost.
Oh,
we only had 4 people.
Doesn't matter. He had 8k damage. That's
like,
enough for 2 people.
I was second on the team. I don't get it.
Get better, Brian.
Nobody would get in the hill.
Get better.
You know
you're supposed to get in the hill.
I'm not a hill player.
If someone's doing 8k damage, you're whatever the fuck player your team needs.
You have somebody who has
it was pubs though. It wasn't league play. Thank God.
Oh,
I don't know why Clay was playing pubs. That's what kind of blows. Don't you dare say it. No.
We ran into the blast in World War II Hardpoint.
Did we?
Yeah. Maybe you weren't in the lobby, but
maybe not.
We definitely played, and I had like 45 kills, and he had like 20, and I was like, dude, I need some help here. We're getting smoked.
Dude.
It's just a pub Hardpoint. The other team was sweating their ass off.
The glory days.
I just go pro in Starfighter Assault.
Starfighter.
That's true. You actually are like pretty solid at that.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Oh, classic Call of Duties, man. We played Slacked in a tournament. Had I not thrown, we'd have won it.
Had I not thrown.
Oh, I threw.
You guys played TST.
Yeah, Nick kind of threw. Nick threw.
I
know. Me and Nick
still
played
tilts me.
So yeah, we were at Anaheim, and Nick threw against TST.
Bro,
Granted, we probably wouldn't have won had Nick been there. I was playing pretty well.
I just realized it's kind of come full circle because you threw against Slacked in the ICN tournament. I threw the first match against Pred hard. I mean, Nick was not great. I think he was like better than me by something, but the first match,
None
I'm
of
pretty
us
sure I
really
had
played well.
It was a hard time.
So one of the guys on their team told me to sell my PlayStation.
That was fucking hilarious.
I lost in a free-for-all against Dirty.
Yeah, we played Dirty.
I came in third in that one, yeah.
Oh, that's right. I super sucked at that.
Oh my God, dude. I
had like 19 hit markers.
I was like, okay, you guys can do a free-for-all sniping match. It's cool, I can do that. I'm pretty good at sniping in World War II. Here's the new Scuff controller.
Bro,
dude, I
was thoroughly surprised with how good I played in that game because I hadn't sniped in like 7 months.
We started off.
I've been grinding trying to get out of bronze and competitive for like 6 months.
I started off with a headshot against him and was like, cool, I'm gonna pick this up. And then I got a hit marker on Brian who killed me, and I was like, well, this is rapidly going downhill.
Yeah. King Hit Marker returns.
I am King Hit Marker. No one gets more than me, I swear.
But yeah, I mean, like...
Can you make a montage of just hit markers?
I have enough recorded footage on my PlayStation. I could make an hour-long montage already.
If you made like a freaking like Catalyst-type montage,
Can we have comedy music?
It has to be the most serious thing ever.
What you should do, though, is like have... like the most serious montage music, like heavy rock music. It's gonna open up and you're gonna have the bass drop, and then it's just like whank, and it just goes silent, and you're just, oh, dude,
just you missing every shot completely with pinpoint
I would
accuracy,
love
shooting the ground.
All right, I love the bullshit, but do we have anything else to go on about? Is there any other topics?
What kind of things are we gonna be doing with what's coming?
So originally, like after the team that shall not be named, after that fell apart, there was a whole big scandal in like one team.
Oh, I was like, what team are we talking about for a second? I was like,
wait. Anybody who was around knows loyalty. You say that, and they're just like, ugh.
You know, when I went back into streaming like a month ago, I went up and my fucking follower badges were still the loyalty ones. I was like, I might want to change those.
That's tough.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, yeah.
So, after that whole shenangle happened in November, that's when I officially started Revolt, because I was like, you know, you can like be actually make a good org that's not gonna just that's how he does this. It's like
we can cut it.
Not in the audio. We're not going anyway.
Oh,
we can silence it. We can make it quieter. Yeah, we can make it quieter.
Like, wait, what's going on over here? So after the whole loyalty situation, that's when I started making Revolt. I wanted to be focused on sort of on the route that Hunter T has taken, because Hunter T has done magnificent in the second round. The first time that Nate came through with Hunter T,
He kind of rushed it.
yeah, that was
Those uniforms are tough and not in a good way.
No.
They are
TUFF.
tough.
So after I saw that, I was like, well, I'm not going to be first round Nate. I'm going to be second round Nate. So I'm trying to focus content, clothing, and then eventually get into esports. Esports is going to be a hard one to get into because at this current
Esports
time,
takes a lot of money.
it's money, very much so.
It's resources of all kinds, but mostly money to get started. And
Especially with the franchising that's gone on, not only with Call of Duty, OWL, and League of Legends. It's going to be super hard to get into these esports. I would definitely not, if like there's a team that's like we cooperate with or we they play under us, that would be absolutely fantastic, because I am down to support anybody who has the grind and the want, the drive for it.
You know what we should do? We should pick up Blake for our Rocket League team, so he has to grind.
I was actually about to say that.
He's one of our montage people. He already has a montage ready. I just need to find an editor. Also, if there's anybody that edits Rocket League.
Cam edits.
Oh, does he? Oh, actually,
He edited Panda's battalion thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I'm going to have to take a look into that.
Yeah,
so
we'll look
I have
into
that. But content creation is going to be the main point of this, because all of us basically have been around since like the 08, 09 era of like Optic, Envious, whenever they're Envious, not Envy. And
Phase.
that's just your phase, yeah.
Phase came a little bit later, but yeah, there was...
We have witnessed all of that. We have witnessed as the eras have changed, and we know what works and what doesn't work.
That's the one thing, like, for the most part, me and Jimmy are 23. We're born like right next to each other. You guys are 24, born a month before.
He's 18 days older than me.
18 days. And so it's like 2 months with me and Jimmy. So like, we were all there. We were fortunate enough to be young and literally get to watch the whole change of the landscape from people taking this thing on a risk and making no money. Hex tells the story like it took like 9 monts of YouTube uploading or something like that, or 6 months or something before he got a check. And then when he did get his first one, it was like $1 and something.
That was so crazy. Whenever I heard that, I was like, "Oh my god!"
And then his next one was like 10,000 times more.
Yeah, his next one was literally like 10,000 and I think like 10.5 or something like that.
Holy crap!
Yeah, it was like that's insane to what it is now, where you have fully functioning corporations built off of streaming and YouTube.
And that's gonna be one thing like really careful to look into, because hopefully we can grow this into something greater, and we all don't have like tens of thousands of millions of dollars to throw into this. So looking for backing is going to be very important, but we don't want to end up as
you don't want to rush anything.
Entities.
Also, like it starts off small. Like we have to be doing the right thing first.
We have to grow
before we can pull anybody else into
Yep.
this.
I was gonna say we're like, I honestly that we're like years out from
Very
getting
much.
any kind of money from sponsors or anything.
Not
Any-
necessarily
not
from
sponsors,
Not
but
crazy.
getting financial backing from
Yeah.
a venture capital.
Well, yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. That takes a long foundation.
It took Hex not 8 years to do that.
About 8 years. Yeah.
About 7-8 years.
Some of that was by choice, though.
And some,
Yeah.
probably the last year and a half too was by choice.
But like I said, we have to do things right. First, we just want to create well amongst ourselves
We just
and align with people who are going to do the same thing.
we just
That's
want to enjoy what we're gonna do.
Yeah, it's like we already have some people that are in the wings here. You'll get to see, if you don't already know, you'll get to meet them here in the next, I would say, couple of weeks.
Super excited for that.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome, because this is the first time we're getting to really dive into a full-scale content program. And Nick and I have been trying to work on that the last couple of weeks, trying to figure something out along those lines.
We do have a really good backing with that, actually. Not only with previous, pieces of work that we've done.
Yeah, we've all done different things that make us prepared to tackle this. Jimmy's currently active on YouTube, really knocking it down every week. He's got the
Been
proven
doing it
experience.
My consistency rating is through the roof, might I add.
Yeah, he's
I
been
know.
doing it consistently for 2.5 years. Is that
you
where
should
we're
take some
coming up
notes.
on?
I really need to. That's one thing I've
Or
seen
two-
doing. I'm
two
like,
years
oh,
ago.
You started in June.
It was 2 years, June 3rd.
Yeah, so
2 years
we're
and some change.
yeah, and you're already over 200.
209.
See,
I lost
that's
this up
not-
this
Did
morning.
you? Wow.
Damn.
But I mean, like
We'll
a little
find-
over a
we'll
year,
find
you're
you.
already at 200 and practically 210, 215 people like watching your content.
I wanted to get to 300 by the end of the year. I don't think it's gonna happen.
You never know.
Yeah, you might hit a
Never
spot.
know.
The RC, I thought you would grow a little bit more from the RC, to be honest.
You had some really great uploads.
You had some good uploads, but like I just thought you'd gain a couple more subscribers here and there than you did. I figured you started the RC at what, like 205, 206?
I don't know. It's about the consistency for me.
I figured it would be like 215, 230 by the time in that range. By
Well,
the time the RC
unfortunately, a lot of stuff fell through during that period. But
yeah,
anyway,
I mean the internet died and all that other stuff.
God, you're also.
I mean, I made up for the internet going out. It's the issue of like Comic-Con was the first week of the Sora RC, and there was potential for a lot of stuff to be shown, mainly a lot of trailers that I could possibly actually like react to and whatnot. But nothing. We had like one trailer that came out, and the reaction to that didn't do all that hot. We had some more stuff that came out that was really great, but again, there was not a whole lot for me to cover, especially since also while going for the RC for a gaming organization,
you're doing movie
I don't
content.
do anything gaming related. Granted, they don't care. They just, if you're good at what you do, they want you to be part of the team. Yeah. So, you know, like I could be vlogging daily, and that could be something they're interested in, and they pick me up for that. But it's not a matter of what kind of content I'm making. It's just a matter of making content at a decent quality that I enjoy doing.
But that was my point, was that there was just a lot of stuff where it was like, you had hope beforehand that they would show some more
yeah,
things.
I was like, yeah, there's going to be like, there's possibly like 3 or 4 trailers that might come out, some, you know, for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, maybe something else for Star Wars, maybe. I mean, Warner Brothers dropped out like a month or 2 before Comic-Con, so I was like, great, there's going to be nothing for that.
Yeah, so a lot of it ended up following through, but that's neither here nor there.
But I mean, the consistency's there, and that's what matters.
Yeah,
and
like consistency, regular growth. I mean, what you said, over 2 years you've been tracking, and it's particularly in the last year, it's been crazy.
Semester starts on Tuesday. I hope it doesn't stop.
Well, we hope the semester stops.
I hope the semester stops.
I'm hoping my consistency doesn't stop.
Yeah, I think it'll be all right.
They haven't even started picking up people for the RC yet, so.
I mean, fingers crossed.
Well, I mean,
that's the biggest thing they look into too. It's like people who are still.
Yeah, but I'm assuming because like sometimes they'll have people that they announce like a week after the RC ends because like someone just hit it off big, so they've been watching them throughout the RCs. Like by the end of it, like absolutely. I haven't done that yet. I'm just assuming it's because the RC was trending on Twitter, so like I'm assuming there was literally they have thousands of RC.
Well, they did that for the Apex guys, but I think that was already
those were decided before the RC because Revex even tweeted out, he's like, these are not RC winners.
Yeah, it's like that. But so right after the RC like was coming to a close is when that all came.
Yeah, they still had like people that they had announced that they were going to say, hey, we're going to announce some more Sora people, and then the RC happened. Then after the RC, like, here's those guys we told you about, not the RC, but stay tuned. So, we're playing the waiting game.
That's fair.
But on Jimmy's end, like he's been super consistent. Brian, when streaming, was hitting it off, and obviously life gets in the way. Sometimes you do just stop to handle other stuff, which, I mean, that's
life.
Yeah, you just that's got to be.
Yeah, we're getting in the swing.
As far as the counter cap stuff goes, I make efforts like every season to try to pick it back up, but then there'll be just dead points of the season where there's no news or anything to cover, and so it makes that job extremely like difficult to continue with. I mean, all you can do is throw more into the rumor. Mill, and it's like that's not. You never want to do that. You don't want to just be reporting on random Reddit topics. That's never a good look. Like
Killer Keemstar.
I mean, hey, if we're talking consistency, Nick consistently uploads once at least every 2 months.
I swear to you, I have hit once a month at this point.
I saw you upload
a month, brother.
You literally uploaded a minute video the other day.
Right.
Of what we were playing, like
GB,
old. You guys were playing old It was like Black Ops 4 before they fixed the search and destroy glitches.
Yep.
I was like, this is like 7-month-old footage.
It's just hilarious.
It was funny. I was just like, I want to throw this up. So
talking to the guy that made the IW Cheetos video.
The
3-second video that you shouldn't miss. You should not.
We were at a party in that game, and that was still the best thing Nick's ever done.
Take a Cheetos. Cheetos.
I was dying.
Turn them into Cheeto dust.
Take a Cheeto with Cheetos.
I hope one day that somehow people are going to look at it and be like, what the frick is that?
This one just blows up. That would be amazing. But Nick also has been pretty consistent with the streams. Technology issues aside,
when his computer doesn't decide to hate him.
I am by far one of the most unluckiest people to deal with technology. I swear.
His PlayStation died before he came back here.
And then it magically revives itself.
I'm telling you, there's something wrong with that that outlet you were plugged into.
Maybe it was just like my existence at that point. I don't know, but you know what? We're back here.
But we're starting out weekly podcast.
Exactly.
Hopefully, yeah.
We're going to try to get a group content video game something up on the channel.
There's a couple ideas.
Yeah, there's a few things that have been floating around.
There's also another thing that we're recording. We'll be recording it a little bit after this as well. It's in the works. You'll see that probably next 2 or 3 weeks. So that will be very exciting.
Yeah, so we've got another project that we're actively has already been started on, and then we'll see probably some personal things going up from time to time, whether it's me or Nick or Jimmy or somebody will make a video. It'll be going up on the channel just as a standalone upload, but for the Revolt channel.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool. You'll get to see a bunch of varied content there. I'm excited to actually start really groundworking this thing out.
Boots to the ground, boots to the dirt, grinding, working really hard. That's one thing I've been really just waiting for this to happen.
Okay,
and
I'm going to tell you this right now. You are the boss and you're in charge. If you say we're doing something, if you come into my room and say, is it okay if we do a podcast on Sunday? Is it okay if you say, hey, podcast Sunday, blank o'clock?
I'm down. We can make this a usual thing. We can shoot for Sundays too.
I just threw a day out there.
Somebody
just
like,
Saturday.
Yeah,
it's like the example is, hey, tomorrow, next week, 3 days.
And that's how things get done. Like if you say we're gonna shoot this podcast at, let's say, 5 o'clock next Sunday. 5 o'clock rolls around, you got 2 people, shoot the damn podcast. Like,
that's fair. Which it
whoever's in
it's in
it. Yeah, and I mean, I feel like this is going to be a type of podcast.
You have the power to drop people, Nick.
Yeah, as you guys have probably noticed,
you can show us what Italy looks like
through the 45 minutes that you guys have watched this. That we have sort of structure, but then we kind of just
it gets tangential and it's fine.
I mean that's the fun of podcasts is we just sit here and talk about random stuff. And sometimes that goes into other things. Like, there was no even thought we were going to talk about the SOAR RC in this, and somehow, some way, we made it.
That's the best thing about podcasts, dude. You can just sort of
show notes.
But yes,
but that's when we need it to be a structured thing, which in most cases we don't. I didn't expect to talk at length with Brian about old Call of Duty championships and old seasons and stuff, but it happened. All right, just come along for the ride.
There might be a podcast about that soon.
That could be happening. That could very well be happening.
I'm not going to say anything. I mean,
I'm not going to call it the 100-point club again.
If you guys get a counter cap on YouTube, you might
find
see
something.
You might, if you specifically pick an episode where we're talking about champs.
Might be a little old.
It might be a little old, but it was right. That's all that matters.
I have a video from a month, 3 months ago.
Ooh.
Yeah, two and a half.
Sure.
Yeah, I redesigned the whole thing though.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at it, updated color scheme. I did that. Took me a year.
What?
I did that.
What up?
Oh, Twitter Abby's different now too. What's up? It went from black and white to purple black and white. What's good? Took me 11 months to add a new color. Fuck with me.
11 more months later, we might upload another video.
It's
moving.
Called progress.
That's called consistency right there. Consistently doing something every 11 months.
That's called professionalism.
Sure.
Yes.
I like it.
I'll take it.
Well, we ready to put a bow on this?
Well, I think we can. I think we
need
can
to put a
end it
bullet in it.
Yeah, I think we need to end it.
What
put this podcast out of its misery.
Okay, Nick, where can the people find you?
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Nowhere.
I'm everywhere and nowhere
On
at this
my
point.
couch.
So, if you want to, you can follow each of us on our different social medias. Mine is everything is clearly not Nick.
Mine over Brian's all my stuff, except for my Instagram. That's just photos. Don't worry about that one.
Should we?
My Twitter is @lifeasalec. Don't follow me anywhere else. Unfollow me on everything else.
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, all at Espionage Joker.
You know, I looked it up, and I was trying to find your Twitter one day, and I typed in "as told by Jimmy" and was really disappointed when I didn't find it.
Every time I try to add him, I start with A and then I delete it.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey.
I love how we all had really really clever Twitter ats at one point when you had "as told by Jimmy." And you had clearly not Nick, Mind over Brian. I've had that one for
for a while now. Yeah.
I've never had a different Twitter name.
Yeah,
It's been Life as Alex since early 2011.
Next time we shoot this episode, I want to talk about the Louisville Purge and how you went viral. Let's say that for another. Let's save that for another day, though.
We'll tease
Leave
that
on
one.
a cliffhanger. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming around for the first cast, whatever this thing is going to be.
RevoltCast, I guess.
Well, if that's the name, it'll come back. But we're going to be thinking.
We'll figure it out as we go along. Next time there might be some more people. You never know. Keep an eye out for that. We got a lot of amazing background people with fantastic skill sets. I cannot wait for more information just to.
Oh, Captain's my captain.
We got to launch first, though, officially. We're already launched by the time you listen to this, but we've actually still have to launch the thing.
It's still Sunday, all right? Coffee breaks.
We got enough time. I think, yeah.
I'm 3 drinks deep at this rate. Like, we got to handle tonight first.
Also, if you want to follow us all, if we're on a streaming platform such as Spotify, you can follow us. Twitter is going to be RevoltAgainst with 2 T's. That's getting figured out. And Instagram is Revolt LLC. This has been fantastic. This has been really, really
fun. Yeah.
Enjoyed this.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Hit the music.